said, we're very fortunate to be in a very supportive and growing community with a proud tradition. Um, we are currently the third largest district in the state, but we still have that small town feel to us, and very family oriented in that aspect of it. So we continue to grow. We grow about 300 to 400 students a year, and as we grow, we show our need. And I think our history as a district, we've been able to show that, we're going to deliver on time, on budget, a high quality product to our families and things like that. And so I think that aids in us being able to pass just the reputation of what we're going to deliver. And for a simple fact, people move here to have their kids in the district. Like if I go to a chamber event or I go somewhere, people are like, we moved specifically to the area to go to the school district. So that support's there right from the get-go. And
So,
so
yeah, go ahead. I was
I'll
just,
also add to that because I don't think, it's not an easy thing to pass a referendum like that. So I don't want to make it sound like it's an easy thing, but I think it's, building that trust in the community is so important. And then the team that's behind us and pushing us is also very important.
so what are the ways how have you expanded?
Wow. So when I started as superintendent, this is my 13th year. We were in progress of building the first campus in the state of Delaware. So campus would be K to 12. It's our Fairview campus. And the first building, which was the pre-K, or the kindergarten center, was the first building being built. So in my time, I've seen that whole campus is complete now. It has from K to 12. We've also have seen major renovations or takedowns and rebuilds of our buildings. Built early childhood centers, built new elementaries. I think we're on our outside of the campus. Second elementary school, 2 elementary schools have been built at this point. Actually starting a second campus now. We're actually out for referendum currently to try to complete or to go from elementary through 12th grade on that campus. I don't know, there's a lot, Danielle. Is there? I'm trying to like go through the list of all the expansion that we've done. We're at 21 buildings now.
Yeah.
I believe when we started, we were at 11 buildings at that time. So
Are there other reasons the district is growing? You said the school district is renowned and people
we're
don't familiar with that part of the world.
we're truly a bedroom community. Um, there's not a lot of industry here. There's not people moving. Definitely not nightlife, not a lot of museums. There's no museums actually. We do have an art gallery, right? Like one art gallery downtown, but there's not a lot of stuff here. So a lot of young families are here. We also are seeing, I think the whole state's seeing this at this point. A lot of retirees are moving into Delaware just because of the lower property tax from like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and things like that. So we're seeing 55 and older communities come in as well. But yeah, I mean the
Yeah,
school system and just where we're located kind of is what the draw is.
got it. So talk a little bit about you and how would you describe your leadership philosophy?
So I don't like talking about myself. I would say, uh, um, I think I'm very team oriented, family oriented. I have expectations for how things should be done. I have high expectations. I think we're one of the things that we're very fortunate is that we have a very successful school district on the academic side of it, and sports and things like that. But uh, I think a lot of times when you're in a successful place, like you can get complacent and um, get tied up and patting yourself on the back. But we're always pushing for the next thing and continually pushing for the next innovation. Um, where can we improve? Where can we get better? Uh, how can we make sure? I mean, my main thing is I always say, like people ask, like, what's your main goal for the school district? Is that kids have choices when they graduate from our high schools, and I think that's vitally important because I mean, when I graduated high school, I didn't feel there was a lot of choices for what I did or where I went or what happened. I want kids to have like choices on the universities they could go to if that's the path they choose, choices into the career path they go into, and or choices even in the military that kids have. So if I had to describe, I guess like I'm constantly pushing for constant improvement. I
And
think,
go
I
ahead.
mean, if I had to say like some things that I think like in my tenure here have been like besides building buildings and things like that, like I would have to say like things that I'm like really proud of is that we have an immersion program, Chinese and Spanish immersion program. The Spanish immersion program is getting ready to go to ninth grade next year, and just to see that has been phenomenal. Our high school course catalog, I would say rivals any junior college that's out there at this point. Uh, that was built with work-based learning experiences at the end for every kid. And then it has a capstone as well that connects with that. That was a true, like when I started as superintendent, I'd go to the chamber events and things like that. And I kept hearing like, well, kids aren't ready for life. Kids aren't ready to go out in the real world. And so I was like, what do you mean? Like we have a high percentage of our kids that go off to college and are successful in college and things like that, but they were really talking about soft skills and things like that. Like um and so just in the development of our work-based learning pathways curriculum, it's just been phenomenal, the kids and the opportunities kids have through that. Also, we changed start times a few years ago, um, knowing that all the research that was out there on teenagers and their need for sleep and their sleep patterns. I probably know more about that than anyone would care to. I think that was a big change, and it's beneficial for kids.
How far back what was the change? The time.
Pardon me?
How did what time did you move high school start to?
So high school starts at 8:30. They used to be like 7:10, 7:20. Danielle, do you remember what time it was when you went to high school? Like it
Yeah,
was
it was that like 7:15.
yeah, it was, so we moved it to 8:30.
Was that a smooth process? Was there some pushback or did you?
Um, of course, anytime there's a change, there's people are concerned about it because you're changing schedules and
Yeah.
routines and things. But the research was pretty clear with it. And it wasn't like it was a process. Like we held community meetings, we held like had like sleep study researchers come in and talk to the community and share that. We're very strategic in how we like rolled it out. Now, COVID didn't help us because it was kind of in the flux of COVID with our plans. But yeah, I mean, I think in the end, we don't get a lot about it anymore. This is year 3, I think. This is year 3 that we have had these start time changes, so we don't hear a lot about that.
Is there a way to measure whether it's successful or students are in a better mood to learn at 8:30 or?
I mean, I think there's the feedback from the teachers and principals. There's also on the academic side, on the measurement side of it, being able to measure to see, you know, what kids' success is. The problem we have, as I mentioned, was in the middle of COVID, so there's that aspect of it that we're still like feel like what's been the impact of, you know, kids not being in school for a year plus. So to have a clear, yeah, this has made an increase in our test scores by this amount. We're not there yet, but definitely see a difference in like tardies and things like that with high schoolers. Just had our allied health first like allied health fair, and they go around and talk to the kids at that fair to say, and they presented on a project or a research that they did, or on their work-based learning. To see just like the opportunities kids. So like one of our kids had an internship at John Hopkins in their lab. And so like in neuroscience, and she's like looking to go in that direction. And we had another kid that had a intern or work-based learning experience at one of the pharmacies, and just how he was like comparing a private pharmacy to a big, you know, a big pharmacy, and just he was looking to go to pharmaceutical school and had a plan. I I think that's just the excitement in that and seeing like what our kids can do. Now we've had an engineering fair for many years now, but going around they have an opportunity to see the kids present, you know, they have a theory or a thought or a problem, you know, like, and they're solving and building things in that to solve the problem. Like I'm just trying to think of some of the stuff like that they like that I've seen through the years. It was like, oh, like one was like the little sticky labels that like are on bananas and fruits and all that, like how to create a label that is biodegradable, because what they currently have isn't biodegradable, and the research they did in that but just several things that you see, like our kids are just amazing